Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Wild at Heart show. I'm very excited to continue this week on Wild at Heart, Real, Authentic, Uncut. This is the show for men, by men. It's not only me, there will be more men to come. For men, by men, and about men, man's topic. My name is Roland FRIEDL. I'm originally from Austria, and my background is I run a business company. We do coaching, consulting, training, just we are sparring partner for multinational companies all over the globe. That's what my main work is. And besides that, I'm very engaged in our environmental projects and also in man's work. That's my break. If you want to check me out, go on my website, rolandfriedl.com. So the topic for the day is a price to pay when you forget an anniversary, a birthday, whatever, in a relationship and a friendship. It's a very interesting topic. And before we start, when you missed one of the other shows, maybe you're here for the first time or you missed one of the other shows, please go to our website. It's called BONFIRE.com. There you find all the recordings of all the previous shows. And of course, in 1 or 2 days, also the recording of this show. And thanks for sharing with your friends, with your neighbors, with your colleagues, this information. Okay, let's get started and bring up the panelists of the show. Today we have three people, three men from different parts of the world. Let's start with my dear friend from the US, from Texas, Mr. Red.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, Red. Great to have you on the show back. How you doing, man?
Recovering well. I'm sure you saw my photo from last Sunday. My skin was very inflamed and swollen. I was going through some topical chemo prevention, not treatment, but it's a preventive thing. I do it every so many years, and it's been quite a few years since the last time I did it. I should put a picture up. It was 1998 in Bosnia. I was in my full outfit for roaming around the countryside there with the flak jacket and helmet and gun and everything. And anyway, I had a beard, and sometimes I even had to carry an umbrella depending on how bright the sunshine was. But it's a topical chemo called fluorouracil. Epidex is what it used to be called. And you just put it on. It's cream. It's an ointment. It's a cream. And all it does is attack fast-growing cells. If everything's healthy and normal, it doesn't do a thing. But if it's a fast-growing cell, so what it does, it causes the cell to grow out of control and basically die. It's called apoptosis. And so the cell dies, and it's like a sunburn. The skin will crinkle up. It'll have a burn like a sunburn. In some cases, the sunburn that you had that is really fried, and you end up with bacon like on your skin. I've had that happen a couple times. And it comes off, and then everything is just nice and pretty baby skin because it's brand new skin that's replacing it. So anyway, I'm going through that. And right now, other than the itches that in this area right here on my face, I'm doing pretty well. Lots happened here in the last couple of days. And each day it seems to be a major improvement from the previous day. Other than a little bit of sleep issues, trying to, at the middle of the night, trying to sleep and scratch. That's the biggest problem I have right now is I haven't been able to get a really, really good night's sleep, but it will come.
Absolutely. Yeah, Red, you're not only a very successful book author, you're a specialist in nutrition and especially in health. You also help other people like myself to bring out a book on the market. You're a speaker. You have your own shows here on USA Global TV and Radio. And I absolutely love your effort. You're always here. You're always on duty. And yeah, thanks for joining us. It's really a cool topic, especially with your experience, because you have a long-lasting happy marriage. So I'm very curious about your contribution. But before bringing our next panelist on from Germany, and I'm very happy. I just met him. Well, we met before, but I met him again after a longer break. Last Saturday, we had an amazing breakfast in his hometown together, a good time. Let's bring him on the show from Germany, Christian.
Hey guys.
Howdy.
Hi, Christian.
Good evening. Good evening. Good to see you guys. Well, I'm kind of curious. Well, Red, you got plans like for next week or something to look younger than we do?
Absolutely.
I got it. Nice.
It's a byproduct, not something that was planned, but it's a byproduct. I'm sorry, but it just happens.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, Roland.
Yeah, Christian is also a nice friend from Germany. You're a successful coach. You support people in different areas of getting rid of their belief systems, getting rid of whatever holds them back to be a happy and successful person. That's what Christian is doing.
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm doing. and I'm having a great time with it. So the topic: a price to pay when you forget a birthday or anniversary.
Yes.
Jeez. That's a heavy one. Well, usually, if I may start, it's okay for you guys. So, one of the usual prices I had to pay if I forgot the birthday of a friend. So that meant, well, years ago, that the weekend after his birthday, I had to pay the drinks. So that was the price I had to pay years ago.
Well, that was a pretty simple one.
Yeah. Because it was only him and you.
Nope, it was the whole gang, of course.
Oh, of course, the whole game came together again. Okay. Okay. Guys, before we start, it just in general, before we're talking about paying a price, are we very often forgetting anniversaries, birthdays, stuff like that? Or have you a trick that you never forget it? Or what's your trick? What's your secret trick you don't forget it?
Well, I'm 7 days older than my wife, almost to the hour. We'll both be 77 in September. And so it's kind of hard. My birthday comes, and then a week later, my wife comes. So it's difficult to forget that 7 days, and we're both the exact same age. We got married on July 3rd. It was a Wednesday night, and the next day was July 4th. So July 4th is a big holiday in the United States. But it was a Wednesday, the year that we got married. This will be 55 years for us coming up. And so we got that Thursday off. The Friday for our companies gave us off. So I ended up with the extra. Then we took a week's vacation. So we ended up with about 10 days because we got married after that Wednesday working. And so that worked out very, very nicely for our honeymoon. And we've done, I think, about 8 honeymoons. In fact, our last honeymoon was the 8th honeymoon about 7-8 years ago. We started back where we got married in Violet, Texas, and followed the honeymoon trail. But those 2 dates are pretty easy to remember. However, for over 20 years, for 31 years, I was in the military. For 20 of those years, I was in the reserves, which meant that I was home. And you do your 2 weeks active duty, and it was in the middle of the summer, which means anywhere from June through September, depending on what was going on. And I would usually do two week, active duty. So chances of me being around in July or September were remote to begin with. Now, if I was on active duty, I could be in Vietnam, I could be in Bosnia, I could be anywhere at that time because the whole squadron was wherever you were at. And so I've missed more than my fair share of birthdays and anniversaries and kids' birthdays and everything else over the decades because I was physically thousands of miles away. And now it wasn't something you forgot it. You were just not able to do it. In fact, back then it was, you call up on the HF radio and somebody has a phone here and a phone there and it says, hello, over, hello, over, hello, I love you, over. and you go back and forth on the shortwave, back and that was the way you were able to actually talk to somebody back there. And now you just bring them up on a screen and have a conversation very privately. But back then it was a little different.
I can imagine. But you never forgot it. You never forgot.
Well, in the heat of the battle, yes, I think you do lose things, because when I'm out there for 2 weeks, you're literally you're plugged in and you're doing something. You're either you're on the ready alert, you're flying, you're training, but when you're not doing anything, you're either eating or you're in bed asleep, because there's nothing else going on in your world. You're on base, you're in your rack, you're whatever, or you're in the airplane, and so there's very little extra time for anything. Now, if I'm overseas deployed, yes, the whole squadron's over there as a normal environment. But if I'm on a military active duty for 2 weeks, now you leave and you're busy for that full 16 days.
Red, one question. You said you married on the 3rd of July, so one day before this big holiday. Was it by accident or by purpose? And okay, that's a good date. We never forget it.
No, on the 3rd of January, 1968, I proposed. We agreed 6 months, so that would be the 3rd of July. But we also had been talking about it ahead of time, so we knew that if we planned on Wednesday night, my wife's brother is a Catholic priest, and he had just been ordained the year before, so we made sure we were inviting him down for that. So he was going to officiate at the wedding. He came down. We both worked at least a half a day or a full day at our regular jobs. Then my wife had to go get food up and get ready, get dressed on. I had to come down and get all the things ready. We had all the stuff you have to do a wedding. As we did that, had a wonderful evening, and then we left Violet, Texas, and went to Rockport and had a couple nights there, and then went up to Hemisphere in San Antonio for that big fair thing there for about a week. And by the way, just you may or may not know or may not remember, but we ran into Mickey Mantle, the New York Yankees, and he was at a restaurant there of his restaurant, and we got our picture taken with him. And when you look at it, my wife looks like she's about 12 or 13 years old. So it's just kind of interesting, because he kept saying, "Did you rob the cradle?" Because she did look exceptionally young at that time.
Cool. Because I was asking, because I was married 2 times, and our second marriage, we had the date on purpose, so we could not forget. Because, well, I have to explain it for our US audience. Here in Europe, we have the date a little bit different. We have first the date, then the month, and then the year. You in the US have the month, the day, and the year, so it's a little bit different. But we met the first time on 234, meaning on the 2nd of March in 2004, my second wife. And then we said, when we marry, we continue with 234. We're going to marry on 567. That's what we did. And actually a year before, we had the engagement process on 566, but 567 was easy to, you never forget it. You made 234, you married 567. And the interesting thing, it's both was a Tuesday. And our friend said, why do you marry on a Tuesday? A big party, it's difficult to come, we are working. I said, yeah, because that's the reason why this. It was by chance, it was a Tuesday. Anyway, I never forgot it. But what I forgot in my life is, with my second wife, I booked a retreat in the Bahamas. I needed a time out, a me time. I wanted to go in an ashram, do meditation, do another yoga teacher training. So I was just Googling, and I was many times in India, and then I found this place. Okay, the Bahamas, a nice combination of, yoga, meditation, retreat, and one of the most beautiful beaches in the world on Paradise Island. So I booked this there, and I was very excited, and I booked it, and I organized everything. And believe me or not, I totally forgot it, that it's over Christmas and New Year's Eve. I won't be with my family on Christmas. I totally forgot it. I didn't think about it. I booked it because it started in November. It ended in January. It was a long time. It was not in my mind. And I flew there. And my wife didn't say anything when I left in November. And then I was there. I said, oh my God. Oh my not from Christmas. When New Year's Eve is not bad, but on Christmas, I'm not. And actually, she never forgave me. She never forgave. But it was not on purpose by myself. But this was really, I forgot it. I never forgot a birthday or anniversary, but I booked this. I was so excited about it, and I didn't think about that. I'm not here with my family on Christmas. My first time.
Well, I'll tell you something. I made an error yesterday. I have a military reunion coming up in about a week or so, and I got on. I normally just call the hotel and talk to a person and make the reservation. Well, this particular one, it sent me to one of these third-party deals. Don't ask me why. I know it's coming up in less than 10 days or about 10 days, and somehow I booked it for a month later. So I hung up, got everything done, and all of a sudden, this is booked for May, not for April. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes you think everything is there, and it's your mind is clued in, but it's not connected to anything else. And so now I'm in that process where they have to get in touch with the hotel, and it's 72 hours, and I could lose the money, but I'm sure I'm not. But it's just one of those things. It's just an extra hassle. But yeah, sometimes you make reservations, you think you have the right date, but then it's not coordinated to anything else in your consciousness. Whether it's Christmas or Easter, or it doesn't matter. Somehow I understand that so well, Roland. I really do. It's not the first time this has happened.
It happened to me. And I had to pay the price because years later, 2 times in a row on Christmas, she disappeared to Germany and spent it with friends. And I was actually not at home alone. I always invited my mom to come over to Christmas on the island. But anyway, I paid the price 2 times on Christmas. How about you, Christian?
Yeah, well, you were asking about some kind of routines, not to forget something. And well, what came to my mind is a memory of the most intelligent way making people not forget birthday. And of course, it was done by a woman. So I have a friend back in Berlin. Nicole is her name. Greetings. What she does, like 4 weeks before her birthday, she starts telling everybody, listen, guys, in 4 weeks, it's my birthday. She announces it everywhere. She posts it on WhatsApp in her profile stats, on Facebook, on, I don't know, everywhere. And the next thing she does, she's partying 3 whole days, like pre-birthday, main birthday, and after birthday. So she's really partying 3 days. So you have the chance for 3 days to give all the presents to her. So that's the way she handles it, and I love her for that, because that makes it really easy for me to remember her birthday.
That's a cool story. And I have to add something, guys. You know what? My mobile number is my birthday. I could choose it from the telephone company. And always when I call a company and I talk to the secretary, to the assistant, and she said, "Can you give my number?" I said, "Yes, this," and then it's my birthday, 12th September 1964. And you always have a nice conversation, and then they always, and then some of them make a mark, and then they really send me an email or give me a phone call on my birthday. So my mobile number is my birthday date.
Nice.
So your birthday occurs between my wife's and mine. Mine is 9/9. My wife's is 16/9.
Oh, I'm in between. Yeah, 12. Interesting. So we're all virgins.
Yes,
like
we are.
Virgin.
Yeah, double Virgo rising.
I can't join in, guys. I'm a lion.
Hey guys, I have another question for you, both of you guys. What does it make to you emotionally? Do you react? Do you not react? How do you respond when somebody forgets your birthday or your anniversary? Or let's talk about the other way around. Are you pissed off? Are you I don't know, disappointed or?
Not really. I'm not a big celebratory person. For there, it's great. If you can plan something in advance and do something together, that's great. Sometimes just sitting at home together, that's all that's needed. But, for whatever reason, let's say something came, for my anniversary this year, we both came down with COVID at the same time. the last year prior, we both came down with COVID the week as our birthday. I mean, I think we were both in bed the day of my birthday. So other things do get in the way, but it's not something that, is it a big deal? It never, I'm the oldest of 9 kids. We always celebrated birthdays on Sundays. For the family, if your birthday was on a Tuesday, it's either going to be on the Sunday before or the Sunday after. It was never on your actual birthday unless your birthday happened to occur on a Sunday. But that's the way the family was because of my mom and dad working and everybody at school and things going on. To have a birthday party with other people over, other friends, it just would not work out on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So possibly having a birthday on Saturday was almost acceptable, but we just deferred. Everything was Sunday. And so to me, if it's celebrated on a day before, a day after, it's not a big deal. But you asked the question, if it was totally forgotten, is it a big deal? Probably not. Not in my value system.
So Red, if it's okay for you, I have a private question. Like,
okay,
as you have so many brothers and sisters. Like, how did this present thing work out for you guys?
Presents.
Like, I mean, yes, birthday presents. Did you get any? Or I mean, if it's so many children, so how can you? I think it's difficult for the parents to be fair. You know what I mean?
We would get something. Let's say that Roland and Christian were coming to my birthday party. They would bring a present. My parents would have a present. And so I would get a present. I wouldn't get presents from my siblings. I was the oldest. All of them were much younger. In fact, there's 18 years difference between me and my youngest brother. And so by the time I'm out of the house, I mean, they're still quite young. Now, if we went up to my sister's birthday once and we kind of surprised her. So the mere fact that we were there and we took her out to dinner, it was a total surprise. We all show up at her work. So sometimes those things happen that way because we can plan it accordingly. My real name is Francis Michael III. I have a Francis Michael IV. My dad was junior and my grandfather was senior. Well, my sister was supposed to be named after my mom, Margaret May II. Well, she was born on St. Patty's Day, so she was named Patricia Maureen. But the next daughter who came along was named Margaret May II, and that's what's on her birth certificate. And so, but when she was real tiny down in Panama where we were living, and she would scoot around on her toes and her fingers, her hands. And down there they have the tarantulas. So she got nicknamed Spider because her butt was always up in the air when she was, not on her hands and knees, but her hands and feet. And so here she is. She marries a guy named McDuffie. I think it was her second one. And so Spider McDuffie, she hated when I wrote on a check Spider McDuffie or envelope because, it's like a prize fighter's name or something like that. But only the family could call her that. Nobody else. She would accept it from family. But if Roland tried to call it, no, you back off. Because that's reserved for family. It's one of those kind of things.
Oh, thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. You're killing me. You're killing me.
Now, mine, like I say, my voice and my son's voice in high school, it would answer. Anyway, before then. You pick up the phone and say, "Is Red there?" Well, 8 out of 11 in my family are redhead. And so, which one? The one in high school. Which one? And then when my son was in high school, they call and I'd answer the phone, "Hi." And, somebody would start talking to me and it took them about 2 or 3 minutes to realize I wasn't the Red they were supposed to be talking to. And so that was kind of funny for a little while too.
I can imagine.
But I do want to mention something, the fact that we got married on a Wednesday night. And for years and years and years, we asked other people, do you know everybody got married on a Wednesday? No. Could not. But on my in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary, somebody had brought in a newspaper clipping. They were married on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Because they had to catch a transportation from Corpus Christi to Houston. Anyway, but we never knew they were married on Wednesday. We never asked them. But they're on the deal. They said on Wednesday, whatever it was, Mr. and Mrs. were married in Corpus Christi at whatever church at 6 a.m., which I thought was we never asked them.
6
That's
a.m.
good. 6 a.m. Yeah, when you're the early bird catches the worm.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I can listen to you for hours, Red. I can listen to you for hours.
Yeah. I mean, Christian, maybe he or she is afraid that he or she is changing her mind, so you'll run at 6 a.m. for the marriage.
You never know.
And then fully awake. Christian.
So Roland, you were engaged for your second wife 3 years, is that right?
For 1 year, yeah.
1 year. You said 2, 3, 4, but then 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4. We met the first time. 5, 6, 6. It was the engagement.
Ah, got you.
Marriage.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
So
My son was he was 8899 for his wedding date, and so the 88 actually it was 8999. I said, if you get married a day earlier, it'll be 8899. It will be real easy to memorize. But anyway, I think 8899. It doesn't matter. It's still within that date. I can plan accordingly. But some of the other ones I can't remember that well. Anniversaries, no. But other birthdays, I pretty much got all my brothers and sisters down reasonably well.
Christian, how about you? Are you disappointed when a special family member or friend is forgot your birthday?
No. In fact, I'm really happy when that happens, because that gives me one extra day of party. It's like, okay, guys, you forgot it. I got your balls right now in my hands.
That's a good one. Because while I was asking Red, I was thinking about myself. I'm pissed off and disappointment. I have to be honest. The last 10 years, I was always switching, not off my phone, but on silent, my phone on birthday, because so many people are calling. And it really is annoying. I'm very happy that they call me or they text me, but many people are really, it's too much. But what I really care about, when some friends forget it, it's all good for me because we are busy or something. But what I'm really taking care is I have 3 boys, my sons. Did my boy think about your dad? That's what I really care about it, to be honest. And I'm always disappointed because most of the time, one of them is always forgetting it, or calling very late. But that's the only one. That's the only one that when I'm disappointed that one of my sons forgot. But with my friends, no, not at all, because it can always happen. But anyway, that's a good one. I will remember this, Christian, and I bring it in as a ritual to my friends. You forgot it, extra party. That's a nice one. That's a nice.
guys, yes.
Yeah.
So we celebrated Dr. Jacqueline's birthday party recently. Did you have any particular places, Roland or Christian, where you had a really fantastic birthday party?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Well, tell us.
It was kind of a silent party, because I think it was my 29th birthday, and the friend I know for the longest time, I know him now for 32 years, and we took our motorbikes and we went over the Alps through Italy to Croatia. Mm-hmm. And we had a house there. We rent a house. It's quite cheap there and right on the sea, and it was beautiful, amazing. And it was my 29th to the 30th birthday. And I knew it was kind of difficult to me to turn 30. So in the very morning, like 3 o'clock, I guess, I got up real silent, took my helmet on, went to my bike, and drove away. I drove away to the highest mountain of Croatia, went right on top, and sat there the whole day long.
Well, that's fun.
And those guys, when I came back home, nobody asked. They just prepared dinner. They said, "Hey, man, we waited for you. We know it's quite difficult for you. We're glad you're back here. Let's party now." So this was really, really beautiful and so respectful, and it really touches me. it showed me how good they know me. This was really special. This was really something to me.
Very nice. Very nice.
How about you, Roland?
How about my birthday? And to be honest, I love birthday parties as long as not mine. The reason why I don't like my own birthday party is because I cannot enjoy it. I remember my last huge birthday party was 9 years ago when I turned 50, and I had this enormous house in Mallorca. Christian knows it, and a lot of friends there. And I had staff there, serving food and everything. But I'm always looking at everyone is happy, everyone has food and drinks. I forget on my birthdays when I organize it to drink. I forget to eat because I'm always serving. I really don't enjoy it. But I have a funny story. I remember, and I always get fancy gifts and stuff like that. But the only thing I really enjoy on birthday, what I really need, is a cup of coffee in the afternoon or evening and a nice piece of cake. That's the only one I'm asking for. The only one, and. On my 50th birthday, all my friends brought me gifts, but a friend of mine, he brought me a cake from the very famous Hotel Sacher. I absolutely loved it. But another story. A few years ago, before I moved to Mallorca and I met my second wife, I'm not quite sure if I've already been married. No, we have not been married. We have been engaged. And it was and she was running her boutiques, and she was closing at 6:30 p.m. And the nice coffee shop in the town is closing at 7. So I went to the shop to pick her up. It was my birthday. When she had to work, no problem on that. I had my lunch alone. And I said, hey, honey, please close the shop. Let's run because the coffee shop is closing. I want to have my coffee and cake. That's all I'm asking for. And she said, no, let's go to the neighbor because the neighbor's friends of us at a small restaurant. No, let's go for a glass of champagne. Yeah. I said, I don't want a champagne. I want a cake. No, just 5 minutes. She said, okay. So we walked there, 5 minutes. Champagne come, and I expect, let's smoke. No, wait. Hey, it's closing. My cake is running away. And you know what? A friend of mine came in and said, hi, Roland, happy birthday. And I had a face like this. And, step by step, more and more friends came in. And I had a face like this. And one of my best friends said, don't you like us to come? You don't look happy. I said, it's closing my cake. And then I realized that my girlfriend at the time, she was organizing a birthday party in the restaurant. And the funny thing is, the guys, they only had lunch, not dinner. And one of the owners, he was in the kitchen. I saw him preparing food. And I said, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And he said, no, I'm preparing for tomorrow. So they didn't tell me anything. And more people came in, and And I was more, until I realized it's my birthday, I was more and more pissed off that I missed my birthday cake. But anyway, to make a long story short, it was an amazing party, and one of my best friends, he runs an amazing company. He makes the best cakes in Austria, and he brought me a huge cake. It came late. He came because I had a lot of work. He came at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., something like that. But before midnight, I had my birthday cake. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, I relate a particular event to Dr. Jacqueline, but then when I got downstairs, my wife watches the show, all the shows that I'm on, and she says, well, you didn't talk about our 70th birthday on the Camino. And I said, well, you're right, because we spent a year walking to get our bodies ready to walk the Camino de Santiago. That's for those people who are not aware of, it's a 500-mile walk across Spain, which we did in about 30 days. But we did it for our 70th birthdays. So we knew that along that way, we're going to take each of our birthdays off. We started in late August and finished in early October, basically a little over 30 days total, but 30 days of walking. And so, yeah, I forgot all about that. That would have been a nice one to talk about for that one. But then it got me to thinking, because I was in Montijo, Portugal for my 41st birthday. And one of the things that I always, in the military and the aviation, when we stand watches, they're 8-hour watches, 8 on, 16 off. Well, I ended up on the seagoing part of the Navy for a while, and they have some weird deals about 4 on, 8 off, and it just kind of wrecks your system. So anyway, I was senior watch officer, and so I'm there for 16 days, and I said, we're doing 24 on, 48 off. So when you're on for 24 hours. And every 4 hours, we would have a crew come in and debrief, another crew come in and brief to take off. And we had the Brits, I know we had the French, Americans, and Brits that were flying, and then the Portuguese were also flying. And so we're constantly busy, either debriefing or briefing in 24 hours. That was fine. So on my day off was my birthday. There was a French crew there, and they were going up to just do a training flight, a French Atlantique aircraft, anti-submarine warfare. And can I go? Got permission from my boss. So I went flying, and I happened to mention to him, it's my birthday. So, come up here, sit in the front. So I got to drive for a little bit. So we get down and say, okay, we're going to take you out to dinner tonight. So I go over to their barracks, and they have a bar set up in the outside of the barracks area inside the hallway. You go over there and you have beer, wine, anything you wanted. That was their own bar set up. And so they had one driver, and it was about 16 or 17 of us. So they would shoot us down here. So I get to the restaurant first, and there's nothing going on. So I buy about 6 bottles of wine. I put it up on the table, and they show up, and they were pissed that I bought something. I wasn't supposed to buy anything. So when we left there to go to another place, they made sure I was in the last car, so I couldn't buy anything. But we did a lot of things together. We went to this place, and it was a kind of I'm going to call it a strip joint, but kind of one in a sense. But some of the guys in the French flight crew, they were standing on the tables, taking off some of their clothes and slinging things around. But anyway, I said, I have to leave here at 2 o'clock because I have to be on duty at 6 a.m. So the driver, they kept sober. When it was 2 o'clock, he came and got me, took me home, changed clothes, took a shower, put on uniform, down there about a half hour before I'm supposed to be on duty. So now I'm up for the next, so I've been up for about 48 hours at that point in time to get ready for my next, 24-hour watch. So that was my 41st birthday. But there's a lot of parts I'm leaving out, but it was exceptionally memorable in so many regards.
I love it. I love it. Before we continue shortly, I want to welcome and thanks for watching on the show. I want to welcome David. Hi, David. Thanks for watching. Hi, Gaffer. That's what I see. I see Joe. Thanks a lot. And Barry. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a lot of fun. And yeah, nice memories.
Yeah. Yes. And part of the French guys were up there on stage with the girls. So it wasn't just on the tables. They were up there with the girls too. They just happen to have a different view on the worldly things in life. It's just like when you go to a mineral therapy there in Germany, like a spa, all you wear is a smile. You don't even think about it. But, Americans, we think about it differently because we're not as exposed to nudity as Germans are. So it's, a totally different mindset.
Yeah. All about the girls. I just remember when you talked about 30, and you, Christian, said between 29 and 30. I just remember on my 30th birthday, I was on a business trip in Germany, and I was celebrating with my ex-girlfriend and a new boyfriend, and I was kicked out of the restaurant before I could finish my main course and I had my cake. I remember. Yes, we had to leave the restaurant because this guy, he went so crazy. He was so jealous about my ex-girlfriend and I. We had just friends, nothing there. But he was so jealous. He was so freaking out that he kicked us out of the restaurant. And I don't care about that, but I couldn't finish my main course, which was quite delicious, and I didn't have any cake. I remember.
And I didn't have any cake.
I think Roland has a cake fetish.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not asking for much, just a piece of cake.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
He probably has a piece of his wedding cake still frozen in a freezer someplace.
And last year, because I was traveling alone in my motorhome, and last year I was in France. And I didn't talk to anyone about my birthday. But my neighbors, it was a German couple on their camper. I guess maybe they heard it because somebody called me on my birthday, something like that. And then they show up from they went to the supermarket and they brought a small brownie with a candle on it. It was so lovely. It was so lovely.
So sweet. So sweet.
Yeah, it was lovely. My gosh, time is running. Christian, any birthday story you have for us, German?
Oh yeah, man, a lot. Well, I cut one short, okay? So there was this, it was my 25th birthday, and my parents and I, we were living in a rented house. So my parents were leaving for the weekend, and I said, okay, I'm a nice guy, I don't do any party. Yeah, by the time I was at the Taekwondo club, and my trainer, he got all the guys coming in, like 40 to 50 guys in that house. They ruined fucking everything. They were throwing eggs on the walls, stuff like that. And the best thing was, I was asleep by 11. And in the morning, I woke up at 8 o'clock and I saw like apocalypse in that house. Everything was ruined, everything was down. But my trainer was with me and he helped me rebuild everything. 2 days.
Interesting. Now, we go to a lot of parties like that and everything's all over, but before you leave, everybody who is there cleans up everything and makes it spotless clean. It just, when you wake up in the morning and you had your house, a party, it's vacuumed, it's cleaned up, all the trash is out front. I mean, but that's the tradition from my Navy experience from being in flight crews. And when you go party someplace, you clean up your mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Christian, the makers of Hangovers saw your party.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. But Red, I always clean up. I remember my 50th birthday. Everybody was gone at 4 in the morning. I was cleaning the whole house afterwards before I go to bed because I hate it in the morning. Yeah. And sorry, Christian, another story.
Well, no story, but just the essence of it for me was like cutting all the strings to the other people and only keep the one to my trainer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, it's been a pretty interesting session.
Yeah, we had a nice session.
A lot of interesting stories there.
Yes,
it was cool. I absolutely enjoyed it. I don't know what you think about Red and Grace, but I absolutely enjoyed our conversation. It was really cool.
Thumbs up.
Cool. So for the audience, if you love the show, if you missed something, please go to bonfiretalks.com. That's the website. You also can contact, but not also if you miss the shows. When you like it, share it with your friends. And when you have a topic that you want us to discuss, or maybe you want to join us on the show and discuss the topic, let us know. We are always open for any topic that is for men's. So thanks a lot, Red. Thanks a lot, Christian. Thanks to our audience for
Good
joining
night,
us.
guys.
All the best, and see you next week. Same time, same station, same procedure, different topic.
Bye. Take care, y'all. Bye now.
Bye.